I'm gonna watch the developer live stream.
Here, I'll do it.
Green.
I'll do it. Well, you're not even showing up.
It's because I'm dead. Oh, I'm fucking actually dead.
Because you're not live. Going on.
I most certainly am live.
Now you
Just
are.
press the button.
Wow, 30 seconds in. You know what that calls for?
Oh my god! Summoner go bird. That was sexy. Clip that. Hey Cortana, clip that.
Clip it, clip it, clip it.
Hey Cortana, clip that.
Hey Cortana,
Hey
could you clip
Xbox,
that?
clip that. Xbox Game Bar, clip that.
Xbox Game Bar. Alright, come on, I need to win this match in less than 6 minutes.
What happens if you're still playing at reset? What happens?
Nothing. It plays it out. You can play it out. The second, unless they change
I
it.
wish it would do something crazy.
Oh my god, this guy's in the air.
It's in here.
Oh my god. Shit for brains. I should have
Sound disgusting.
gotten up earlier. I sound disgusting?
No, me.
Oh. Oh, you listening to yourself on the stream?
Yeah.
I thought you said you weren't gonna watch.
I don't know.
Liar. Give me your Twitch
Liar!
Prime right now. Give me your Twitch Prime.
Bruh.
I subscribe with Prime.
This guy's all the way in the back here. Fucking back, 'cause I'm getting shot by 2 people.
So weird
Wow.
because I hear
Oh,
you say
thank
that,
you for
but
subscribing with your Twitch Prime, swag.
Wow, what?
Wow.
Ew.
Wow,
Ew.
what?
Dude, that was so gross.
Oh, you're dead.
Yeah, I'm dead.
It's weird because I heard you say that, but it didn't show up on your stream for like 30 seconds.
Yeah, it's weird. I thought I got rid of the delay, but it's just the delay persists.
Kill it.
It's
Why does it
true,
count as a
no
streak even though
flawless.
I
It seems.
Alright.
Sorry.
I'm gonna try. I'm a mod. I've never seen
Was
this
there
mod
was
menu.
there a was there a month that you didn't subscribe?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, he took a break.
Oh,
but it counts as a streak.
Hmm.
Whoa.
Come on,
Okay,
don't lose
modding
this
on
game.
Twitch is weird.
I'm trying my damnedest.
Come on, you got this.
It's especially hard because my controls are not working.
Ooh.
A banged up controller. Or a banged up controller. Where is this dude? I gotta go to zone. Oh my god, bro. Who's this game? These are. Well, the blueberries won their one, but the zone got capped, so that's great. I'm glad they could win their ones. I sound so elitist
One
right
guy.
now.
Huh?
Hey? You'll see.
Hung jury. Jesus.
Don't shoot at me. You guys let
It's on
them
that hung
cap
jury
the
that he
zone.
is.
I don't
That's
fucking
weird.
know, and I don't fucking care.
Alright.
Nice damage. 64.
Yeah, I know.
Impressive.
64 bits of damage.
Come on, pull it back.
There we go. See a juicy profit kill in a second. Juicy. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able
Whoa.
to requeue. This match is not gonna be quick enough. I'm gonna be able to try to get my final game in. Well, this could be my final game, actually. Oh, I'm depressed. He's got a res back there. Go get him, brother. Very interesting to watch.
Oof. Go get him. So weak.
This guy's doing the gritty on this blueberry. Poor blueberry.
Also, the blueberry did not win his one.
He
Shucks.
did not win his one. The guy has rapid hit box breathing on his
Yeah.
Hunger. And they have a
Okay.
well, so this is officially Jober. Man, I love loss protection. I love snowball protection. Certainly a thing. Oh, they didn't well on. Oh,
Call
they
it
did well
10.
on Bianca. Yeah, there it is. Oh, someone, one of the blueberries even left the match. Great. A lot of levers.
Gonna miss the stream.
Alright, well. No. Perfect timing.
He didn't want to miss the stream.
Oh, he didn't want to miss the stream. Dude, I
They're
bet.
talking.
Oh, cry about. Oh, cry. I'm crying about not going flawless. Because I hate this game.
What the hell is he wearing?
Let him cook.
Yep. We all watching?
Shortly, yes.
Okay.
The PvP map pack and a couple more details at the end that we'll go ahead and share with you in just a bit. But as usual, it won't just be me talking through it. So let's go ahead and tell you about the wonderful folks I have here just to my left. Some incredible developers here at Bungie. We'll go ahead and start with the gentleman here to my left. Friend of the show, one and only Mr. Tom Farnsworth, Senior Design Lead here at Bungie. Tom, welcome back.
I'm back. I keep bringing me back.
I know, come on, you're the best. We couldn't possibly let you go.
No, of course, I'm the creative lead for Into the Light, but we're really here to talk about all the great work the team has done and these individuals here with us today. And we're going to talk about some exotic missions,
Yes.
some rewards associated with them, and some PvP stuff. So let's dive in.
Okay.
Let's talk to everybody else here.
Great stuff. We also have sitting
They have
just next to
Outbreak
Tom as
Prime
well,
on the table.
We have Rob Adams, one of the art
definitely
directors here at
0 hour.
Bungie, and kind of the person
And,
that will come
Whisper
up with the concept
on-
of
Hopefully
Bungie.
Harbinger.
Rob, welcome.
Thank you.
No,
Thanks
no,
for
no.
having
I
me.
want
Absolutely.
Craftable Hawk
Yeah,
mode.
no,
You know,
it's
see
fantastic. We have
Whisper
a
behind
lot of
that
fun
one
stuff
guy?
we
I
have
do.
to
That's
show
been
about
there
with
since
this stuff. We'll
days
have plenty of fun
once
details to
the
dive into
first
here in
stream.
just a little bit. And of course, the one and only Willie Chang, activity
Yeah,
designer
Willie.
here at Bungie. How you doing, Willie? Good morning.
I'm doing
You
well.
don't even know who he is,
For the
dude.
folks at home that may not be familiar with you or your work, what do you do here at Bungie, if you don't mind my asking?
I'm an activity designer for Into the Light. I worked on the 0 hour
Oh, wow.
Roboheads.
Oh,
Excellent.
okay.
Well,
So that is
With
going to be.
that, we may as well
Wow,
start
I'm so
diving into the
surprised.
show at
Seems
hand.
like
We
they
have
have
a
the
lot of
exotic
cool
on the
stuff to start
table.
with. In addition
That's
to
where Trevor
you
is, right,
mentioned
Bill?
some awesome
Yeah,
reprised exotic
that is
missions,
epic.
including
It's gonna be
the
fun.
Whisper and 0 Hour, which will both
There you go. Whispering 0
feature,
hour.
pardon me, craftable versions of each weapon. But let's go ahead and start at the top
There you
with the Whisper. We've
Oh.
had a chance to go ahead and kind of pull back the curtain and look behind the scenes a little bit. Let's go ahead and start from the very top. Rob, you were there when it all started. Why did Bungie make the Whisper to begin with?
Well, I think in the first few months of D2, I want to say like the first 3 to 5 months, we felt like there weren't enough secrets in the game. It felt like the game was pretty well known, you know, and kind of like discovered. And it just needed some big secret to be found by the players. And we thought that that would excite our community quite a bit. Like it would just go over really well. We hoped it would at least.
Yeah.
And we had all this nostalgia for the Vault of Glass and Black Spindle. I mean, one day we were just sitting in a conference room and we're like, what if we just made another Black Spindle mission, but we made it a lot bigger,
Yeah.
right?
Speaking of, we've got here on screen kind of some, if we can call it as such,
Yeah.
original
cool.
concept art, you'd say, for the
Yeah,
Whisper.
it's concept art.
Yeah, can you tell us a little bit about what
Confusing.
we're looking at here?
Well, that's
I see
actually the
it,
very
though.
first whiteboard drawing when we got all
I
excited.
see
We
it.
ran and found a conference room and we started, drawing what this could do,
Yeah.
what we would want to build. And really, this kind of shows some of the magic formula. Like we had a contract, really, that we called it a contract. And this was an unspoken agreement between us as devs and the hardcore, super engaged players.
Yeah.
And it really was, if you can pass a test where your mind is going to be tested, your fighting, right?
Yeah.
Is going to be tested, and you're going to be able to pass these tests, right?
Yeah.
Your movement, your mind, your fighting.
Yeah.
If you can get past these tests, you're going to be rewarded with great power.
Yeah.
And that was the contract. And so one of the other things we did, and you can see it up here in the upper left,
Yeah.
is there's a little crack, and then the path continues.
Yeah.
And that's the red herring. And so we thought, well, rather than lead players by the nose and have a bunch of narrative and make it really obvious what you're supposed to do, what if they get into this mysterious place and they don't know what to do? And when they go down the path that they think is right, it's not.
Yeah.
And they go blazing right past the actual opening.
Yeah.
And so we knew or we were pretty confident that was going to appeal to the hardcore players, because once they learned the path,
Right.
they could then bring their friends in and show them, and then we would have the videos, you know, with the walkthroughs, and it would just appeal to
As they
those
let their
sorts of
friends
people.
go first that first time to watch
Yeah.
them fall off
Mm.
the
Yeah,
edge
yeah.
helplessly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Also, too, is to kind of focus a little bit more on the art direction as well. I think, to put it lightly, the vibe in the Whisper is pretty intense. Can you tell us what it was like, kind of imagining that space and bringing it to life?
Yeah, well, we wanted this like intense mystery vibe, right? The mystery of I'm on IO and I found this place that I've never seen, I didn't know existed.
Yeah.
And where does it go, right? And that mystery, and also the feeling of dread.
Yeah.
And so,
There's a lot of that.
yeah, and it's easy to get a vibe if you listen to one type of music, for example.
Right.
So we were watching Stranger Things and listening to the soundtrack, and I got really into building this traversal puzzle. It has a really consistent vibe because it was just one type of music that was listened to for the whole thing. Yeah.
Speaks to my Hotline Miami fan
Yeah.
inside, honestly. Yeah. Also, too, is we've got another picture as well of the infamously titled Green Room as well.
Yes.
There was a really cool anecdote you had kind of about the development process of this. What was it like bringing this kind of very iconic, I guess I'd say, Destiny room to life?
Yeah, well, this is funny because there was this thing that we wanted to try, right? Make a room that has a trap in the center, that if you mess up, you end up going down the trap and you get punished for it. And when you get out, you end up back in the room. And it just happens again and again and again. And there's all these different ways that you try to find your way out of this room.
Right.
So the test was to make a tiny version of this, like 1/4 scale. And we brought it into the playtest lab. We had Cosmo and Dylan.
Oh,
and
Dylan.
we had a bunch of our testers and
Cosmo.
designers in there.
Yeah.
And I just waited, right? And I waited for someone to find the hidden shortcut, right? Like what's going to happen when they find that hidden shortcut?
Yeah.
And so the first person that found it, they just screamed and started laughing, and then everybody started finding it. And based on that reaction, we knew we had something good. And then it got scaled up into what you see here. And back to the vibe thing again.
Yeah.
When this got built, all I did was listen to Black Sabbath,
Nice.
the first 6 albums, like over and over.
Yeah.
So it just
Nice.
has that really consistent
Black
vibe all the way
Sabbath.
through. That's just a trick that the whole team uses to get a theme.
Listen
or
to
vibe
Alice in
that
Chains,
we
please.
consistent.
We're going to go ahead and also,
Bruh.
too, and start and jump in the activity.
DMG.
This vibe up close and
Nice,
personal
dude.
as well. But
Wonder if I
here
got
we
a
are.
sub.
We're
Nope.
back in the
Good
Whisper as
thoughts.
well. Really quickly, too, off the top.
So like
really when
Bungie
it
streams
comes
every
to
day anyway.
Bringing these encounters
True.
forward.
Oh,
Bringing
here we
them
go.
It'd be
Gameplay.
hilarious.
Destiny. What were some of the bigger challenges
We do have
that you'd say you
gameplay.
had to overcome in
I
order
d-
to make sure that
I
they were
d-
fitting
IO.
the sandbox?
Yeah,
Finally go on IO.
sandbox-wise,
Probably just this
Inside.
mission.
players nowadays pack a lot more power than they did
Unfortunately.
before. People can clear entire
Oh.
rows of ads from these activities back when they were
Sounds like
in their original
Callus.
state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like extremely quickly. So we had to beef up the number of combatants that are in these encounters, and later on.
I'm gonna memorize this
roll
path,
out,
though.
a- additional tuning that I've done on them.
Totally, yeah. We can come back to that in a second, but I think also too, really quickly, back in the day, there was a very bespoke way of getting into the Whisper. You had kind of hang out on IO, wait for this mysterious portal to come up. But we've made some changes to that as well. I think you were mentioning before we hopped on the air.
Oh yeah, I mean, I was a victim of it, right? We had the public event with the RNG, and you had to wait for the right one. And one time I tried to take a coworker through on a Saturday, and we spent like 7 hours just trying to get a few runs because of the public event. And that we just had to change that, right? And the team was excited about having a new, benefactor, a new character that you go and talk to. So you'll be talking to Eris Morn. Eris Morn is going to tell you some really cool stuff. I don't want to give it away.
Smart.
Love that.
You're not going to have to deal with the frustrating triggers.
I'm back in the story.
That's always good to hear. Giving a chance, especially if people are going to come back in.
Where revise exotic
kind of
mission.
build up their craftable exotics. Obviously, a pretty key component. Also, too, is I think it's worth mentioning that this is
New ambiance
this has
video
undergone
in the
more changes
Whisper
than just the combat
mission?
landscape.
Yeah.
For the veteran players who are coming in here, folks like myself that have maybe kind of had.
Bro,
a
I've
lot
been
of this committed
muted
to
this
memory,
whole time.
I
I've
was gonna
already been
say,
thinking about
I
it.
was like,
fresh for those veteran guardians.
Dude.
I was worried.
Yeah, well, the
No,
goal
I was
was-
like,
Not the
I
elevator.
didn't see
How
my,
is this
I didn't
gonna
see
be
my mic
exactly what you
flashing,
just
so I
said,
was
right?
like, oh,
Like, if I-
people
if I
can't hear
played
me.
this
That's so
10,
weird.
15,
This
20
elevator
times, I've
is a
guided people
terrorizer,
through.
dude.
Maybe I've made a video about how to get through
Dude,
here.
I'm my mind is already like, get me in there. I want to record.
To go in
Yes.
and do it again. And that was the
It
goal
looks
that
really
the team
cool.
had. And
I think
when we
IO
knew
is
we were gonna do
underrated.
this, I made my own list, right? Like
Yeah.
I was like, we're gonna change this.
Like
we're
the
gonna
Vex
move
stuff's
that.
Not
underrated
this
too.
room, dude. This fucking
And I was really
killed me
excited
so
about
many
it.
times.
So Tom was in this.
That looks fun.
So I
Oh.
show up, and there's like 15
Eat your edge,
people.
yeah. I'm gonna say.
Yeah,
And
Eager Edge is
Grand.
presented this
yeah.
whole
It's
plan.
that's it.
Oh, look
And I
at
had my list
that.
all ready to go, and I was gonna wait. I was gonna listen
Beautiful.
to all the proposal and everything, and then start giving ideas and
Oh,
stuff.
this is
And when
sick.
I finally finished presenting
They get
the
booped.
plan for how to
Uh-oh.
update this
He
thing,
intentionally got booped.
I just deleted my list because it was like
Wow.
it was way bigger and way cooler than anything.
I wonder if
that
this
I'd
is
come up
Noah
with.
playing.
Yeah.
Probably
It's just
not.
so neat to see like a fresh take on
Nah.
it. So, if you think you know where the chests are, if you think you know where all the secrets are, if you think
Ew.
you know where all the surprises are,
Yeah.
you don't, because they're different.
You
All those old
don't.
guides and all the old walkthroughs, they're gonna have to be
He's on the
remade.
right.
Even
He's
though I'll just give
rampant.
one away. When you first get in, there's that first secret chest room on the right.
Right.
The anomaly has taken care of that. It's not there anymore.
Dude,
Well,
I
take
want
care
to
of
play
it.
this
More
one so
surprises.
bad.
To the
It's really
Steam
nice.
guide
Wait till you
writers,
see
to the
Zero
game
Hour
facts
too.
writers.
There's secret
Hour is
chests?
so cool.
Making their YouTube videos.
They
Revision 2
there
is
are,
going to be
yeah.
ordered sometime
Yeah,
soon.
there's shots
Oh,
in
thank
the face.
God.
Sounds of it.
Yeah.
That's really exciting.
Wonder what weapons you'll get out of them.
Also, too, is
interesting, yeah.
are there any other changes?
I don't think there's
that
any
you guys
new
are
weapons.
particularly excited about when it comes to the Whisper. We're going to move on to Zero Hour here in a little bit, but
What if they bring back
before
the
we conclude our
Soul
journey
Strike?
here, Willie, actually,
I
are
hope
there
so.
any changes in
For the love of
particular that
God.
you're excited about with this updated version?
Something
I'm
new,
excited
please.
about the way that the boss fight has changed
Yeah.
for this activity.
Interesting. All right. Well, we'll leave that to
Boss
folks to
fight's
go ahead and
different.
discover on their own when it comes to the launch date of the Whisper. But yes, this is a first look for the folks out there who are looking to go ahead and make sure that they're ready on day one to go ahead and add another craftable exotic.
Oh my
to
God,
their
yeah, it's gonna be
collection.
craftable. I forgot about that.
Obviously, the Whisper is
Oh
going to be
my
there
God.
for you, but we don't want to spoil all of it. You'll have it in your hands.
That's
soon enough.
crazy.
And also, some folks out there have already had a chance to play it, so we don't want to go ahead and uncover too many of the mysteries.
That's gonna be a DPS thing.
Up next, we've also got
Yes.
obviously another iconic one.
Okay, so
Zero
Outbreak should have
Hour.
rapid hit.
Let's start from the top. Can you
Instead of Outlaw.
explain, Rob, the concept behind Trevor? You've obviously got an homage to him on your.
I have my shirt. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Can you tell us a little bit about what this original
Hidden
concept
Mirror.
was?
So Trevor was really inspired by this.
Oh, Trevor.
There's this Japanese game show called Takeshi's Castle, and it's been around a while. And it's great because it has all these physical challenges and people getting knocked down or flipped over and stuff and trying to get through
Wipe
things.
out.
And there's just a lot of comparisons to what we try to do in
On
Destiny.
crack.
We've
Yeah.
borrowed from that show and shows like it for a long time for cool ideas. And they have this one bit where the contestants try to get up this hill, and there's this big fake boulder that comes down the hill.
Oh,
right?
Sisyphus.
And there's these little like
No, that's
side
Indiana
Nipples.
Jones. So.
rooms, like
No.
little pockets that they can try to get into.
Oh, like
And
grasp.
so we were like, man,
Yeah.
if we had something like that in the middle of this mission, that would be amazing,
Yeah.
right? Like, and so we had this thing that we called.
go.
There it is.
Yeah, we got some concept art up on
Yeah.
screen now.
So we had this thing that we called the hazard for a long time. The hazard is going to get you, right? And it's going to come down at you. And on the left, you
That's
can
what it
see
looks
the
like.
original whiteboard drawing of what this could look like. And there you see the hill with the slots.
Yeah.
We basically lifted off of Takeshi's Castle.
Yeah.
And then that evolved into what we eventually made as a maze,
Yeah.
right? And then there's
So
the very
cool.
first drawing of Trevor. And on the right, you can see a concept art.
Because you can
by
only
one of
really
our
see his
artists
like
named
red
Fred
eye.
Now.
Yep. It's pretty
And when I
Gameplay.
looked
scary.
at it, it had a bit of a vacuum
Yeah.
cleaner look. You know, it didn't
Looks like a
quite
dialect.
nail the fear.
Exterminate.
You know, which we might talk about in a second here.
Oh, yeah.
So then on the far right, you can see the centipede.
Okay, I'm
legs
good with-
and
don't
the
say
light
that.
and
Don't
the
say
final
centipede.
version. That's
You
pretty
mean
close to
centipede.
how Trevor ended up.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Definitely, it
Ugh,
feels
I hate it.
terrifying.
I hate that. I don't
some
want
people
it.
say.
Human centipede.
And I, kind of, well, we're on the other.
That's fine.
Legs,
Good job, Tom.
which brings up honestly another great example I'd
Not
love
the
to
bug.
touch on as well is, as a guardian myself, we've felled gods. We've fought some of the most difficult battles in the universe, whether it's against our fellow guardian or the many foes that set foot inside the solar system. When it comes to Trevor in particular, it elicits a very primal, sincere fear. How did you guys kind of elicit that from players who have obviously conquered so much?
Well, I think there's this like satisfaction from scaring people that's inherent in everybody. Like we've all scared somebody, I think,
Yeah.
at some point. It's just super fun, right?
Yep.
So what could we do in Destiny to actually make people feel fear? And the team was super excited about how to try to tackle that problem. Because you're right? Like Guardians can just jump away and we kill everything and we're just gods.
Invisible
God
and dodge
killers.
away.
Yeah, exactly.
To do it, yeah.
So how do you scare our players in the game, right? So the first step was drop you in a maze.
Yes, scary.
There's something in there that you cannot kill. You can't jump up because the ceiling is just above your head, right?
Yeah.
So those were the first three things. This thing is faster than you.
Yeah.
So you know you're in there with something that you can't
the
kill
old
that
tower.
can go faster than you.
Yep.
And then of course we did the centipede bottom, which
Yeah.
I have this particular phobia
Yep.
of centipedes. Like
The fact that you took something that is such a fear and
me,
put it
yeah.
front and center,
Oh, wow,
honestly,
look
like,
at
it's
that.
commendable.
I watched this video like a week ago where this dude takes a giant centipede and lets it bite him on the
Oh,
arm.
Coyote
I do that
Peterson?
to
I don't know. I almost passed out like watching this
I
video.
thought it was Coyote
But
Peterson that did that.
Centipedes terrify me. And so I thought the bottom of this thing just has to be
guys are gonna
sideways centipede
be able to go
legs
through the
that
old
are made out
tower.
of metal, and they just grind you up
Awesome.
when it catches you. And then the final piece of
Oh my God.
The formula for this thing really was to put a super bright light on it
Yeah, there we go.
that would shine as a shadow caster across your, like past your body so you can see your own shadow as you're trying to get away.
Yeah.
And honestly, like a lot of it was inspired by the anxiety that I feel, and I think folks on the team also felt when we talked about like the trope of a subway that's coming around the corner.
Right.
Right.
So you
It's
see
just-
that
it's always-
finite
yeah.
just clock running out
It's
in front
coming.
of you.
Yep. You see the light coming, and then you see the thing,
Yeah.
and so that really helped us figure out how to make this thing as freaky as
This
possible.
time, no Indiana Jones laying down on the tracks hoping for the best here.
Yeah, no.
Not a chance,
Yeah,
no. Trevor's going to chew you up, honestly. So also, we found ourselves now, we're in the beginning stages here of the Whisper we can see on screen. Willie, we kind of touched on this briefly over the course of the Whisper, but can you tell us a little bit about what it was like sort of reinventing these combat spaces and these encounters for Guardians in a modern sandbox, especially those that are going to have the Brave arsenal available to them?
Yeah, so just now you saw a brig in this encounter, which
Yeah,
there
this is-
wasn't one before. I think there's the desire to keep the soul of the activity, which is that, oh, there's time pressure on me to finish this activity quickly, and also I'm
John,
going up
Windows
against
key.
powerful enemies that are trying to stop me from doing that.
Yeah.
So we wanted to
You
make
hit the
sure
Windows
that the
key,
combat
whoever was playing.
still felt challenging, even in today's sandbox. So we added some new
With Project
commands
Crouch.
to
Yeah.
the brig. And we also just increased the number of
Loot
combatants,
bauble
period,
failed to spawn. Item may be
so
flushed
that
to post
players
master.
had
The
more
fuck?
to do with their more diverse and deadly tools.
Yeah. Guardians have
thing,
plenty of those
probably.
available to them.
Dev mode is weird.
When you were developing
Yeah.
these combat spaces as
Oh
well,
yeah,
were there
sword
any moments
DPS
where
on
you
a
thought to yourself, like,
On a
"Oh, this is
walker?
Good idea.
We've
Yeah,
really
this is
centered in
interesting.
on what's great about this mission originally.
I mean, maybe
but
they
this is
know.
gonna be
Maybe they have
appropriately
Warple on
challenging
it.
for
I didn't
today's
see if it procced or not.
Yeah, I think when we play
Warple.
tested it and
Only works for
Mountaintop
everybody
DPS.
load up with
It's gonna
their,
happen.
like new maneuverability tools, their swords, their grapples,
Not really.
to go through the activity, and then we were expecting that like, oh, people are gonna breeze through this like it's nothing, like the original 20-minute timer has to become something else. But really, all of that translated over pretty well. Like the individual sections are self-contained enough that like you can't bypass too many things by just using one new tool.
Sure.
The whole thing sort of still felt like 0 hour,
Yeah.
even with your new toolbox.
Yeah. That makes perfect sense. Even with, we're gonna go ahead and jump forward here a little bit as well, using our dev tools to take a look at Trevor as well. So for the folks out there that want to read themselves, now's a brief chance to check it out. Also, too, we're in a world where there's strand grapples, there's shatter skating. When it came to kind of redesigning these activities, or even making, I guess, alterations more appropriately on these activities, with one like Trevor, for example, what was the challenge that you kind of had to overcome with those new movement tools in addition to the combat tools that players have available to them?
Yeah, I guess philosophically, I want to
Willie
make
is
sure that
fucking huge.
if people were speccing into being highly maneuverable, then I honor that choice and
He's
say,
like your dad.
yeah, you're highly maneuverable.
Yeah, right.
Like
6'8".
maybe you're in this hallway with Trevor. I don't want to be ground up by these centipede legs, so I'm going to sword skate through this so that I can have a little bit of speed on Trevor. But you still can't invalidate the challenge entirely. Trevor will still kill you if you mistime those. So they're just like different expressions of how you want to tackle these challenges, and none of those expressions fully throw these challenges out the window.
Yeah, actually, something too that I'm seeing pop up in chat here is the mention of the timer. So for starters, there's also, this is normal difficulty. And there's also,
Oh my God!
Yeah, Tom, can you tell us
he
a little
wants
bit about
to.
any updates
Shit
to
goes
timers
fast.
and as well?
He's hungry.
So,
Gemini just got
Willie,
covered.
feel free to have him correct me if I'm wrong, but on normal, it's 40 minutes because we want to give players a little bit extra time, especially if you're new. We want this to be accessible. Everyone would get in there and get the experience. But a lot of our kind of like quests, content, and secrets are in the Legend version, which has a 20-minute timer. Correct? Yep.
20 minutes on Legend.
Perfect. All right. Thank you, chat.
Sheesh.
In addition to these other updates,
Once you learn the path, it's not that
are there
bad.
anything or any changes you've made in particular that you're excited about, that you're comfortable talking about it here, or is it just you want players to dive in and find out for themselves?
Yeah, so the whole secret setup for 0 Hour is different. So previously we had key cards. Those have been replaced by another secret system that you'll just have to find out more about for yourself.
Excellent.
And I'm also proud
there a
of
vendor for
the
this
boss
one as
fight
well?
in this.
That's right. Yeah, we'll hold that one close to the vest. Players will have a chance to see that on their own and see Willie's hard work in person very soon.
It's Tanix.
Now, as we mentioned at the top of the show,
Oh, yeah,
there's going
great.
to be craftable versions of the exotics, and we're going to check them out.
Yeah,
but
great.
There was one more example
Yeah,
that I
great.
wanted to ask you about, Rob, in particular. There was some discussion briefly about the
he's
acronym
texting
that
someone?
is Trevor. Could you tell us what that stands for?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, but I had to open my phone because it's impossible to remember that.
We all have our notes. Yeah, it's part of the game.
So early on, the team, we just realized we had to figure out an acronym for this because we loved the name Trevor because it was paradoxical. I went to school with a kid named Trevor who was the nicest kid in the entire school. Just nice to everybody to a fault, right? So I always thought Trevor is just the nicest name. And so paradoxically, here's this evil thing named Trevor, and we thought it was hilarious. But once we alphanumericized, is that a word?
Yeah.
Once we made that, we had to come up with the acronym. So the one that I had was Tracking Robotic 3-Vectored Reducer. Because it reduces, right, Tom? It's like it reduces you, yeah. But that was our internal acronym.
Yeah.
And so when we went to GuardianCon and we did like a fly-through or like a walkthrough.
Yeah.
And so the community team, thought that we should let the fans of GuardianCon decide what the actual acronym for Trevor was. And so we had the 5 different examples, and my tracking robotic was in there.
Oh,
right? That's one of the things. I was like, please pick mine, please pick mine.
Yeah.
And so at the end, what they decided on, and they decided by loud applause, and it was very obvious that this is what they wanted.
The committee had
Oh yeah,
spoken.
it's very obvious.
Yeah.
What they decided on was tame, relaxed, triple vac relate. So that's the official name for Trevor.
That's it. It's
the acronym.
codified.
Yeah.
anymore. Thank you very much. To the denizens of GCX, thank you very much for your hard work and letting us know exactly what Trevor should be called. That's really cool. I wish I'd been there for that. Okay, now we're taking a quick look at the craftable exotics as well. We're going to go ahead and start with Whisper of the Worm.
Okay.
Tom, could you tell us
Wow,
a little
crazy
bit about
barrels.
what, players who are going
Wow.
to go ahead and facilitate their own
Wow,
play
it's
style
like
or
it's-
want to build a Whisper all their own? What are they going to have to look for?
I hope you can replace Mulligan.
Yeah, even before we get into
That'd
the
be
crafting,
nice.
I've got my notes here from Chris
The
Proctor,
Mulligan
so
is-
You're the man of
ready
the
to
How about
go.
rapid hit
sitting on my
precision
shoulder,
instrument?
helping me out here.
Looks weird.
And we wanted to retain the fantasy of both these weapons, of both Whisper and of Outbreak. And Whisper, it's a hard-hitting precision weapon where you're in the backfield. And if you land your crits, you're rewarded.
Look at the day it was
Sustain
crafted.
A ton of damage on a
May
boss or
17th,
enemies with a large critical.
2024.
area.
Oh yeah, it's
Ogres
crafted in
will
the
be
future.
felled.
Yeah.
Ogres would be
Weird.
felled. Servitors. stand
Oh,
no
don't stand a chance. Yeah.
And then with Outbreak, it's the fantasy is all about spreading the plague of Siva nanites.
Certainly.
And we'll be able to get to that in a minute. But
So I think we're looking at Whisper right now.
yeah, so specifically with Whisper and Outbreak, for both of them, with both these crafted weapons, they'll both have a craftable barrel, magazine, traits, and stock options. The barrel and magazine options will let you like really push the stats around. Like so, you'll be able to have like a max stability Whisper if you want.
Yeah.
Which was like you know really.
Why is the
advantageous for a
airborne
weapon that's about
effectiveness
just,
so
like, hitting
crazy?
Repeated critical
That
hits.
is
in an area.
What the hell?
And then specifically
That's
for
scary.
the perks on Whisper.
Okay,
both
you
the perks
can.
on Whisper and Outbreak are things
Oh,
that by
field
engaging in our
prep?
secrets
Field-
week over
I like
week,
field prep
and
there.
both of these exotic missions, you'll be able to unlock them. And for Whisper, it starts off with Mulligan, which is the classic perk where if you miss your shots, they get refunded. But if you upgrade
A
it, you can
chance
get
to get
field prep, which will
refunded.
give you more
Enlighten
shots,
action.
which equals more damage.
Yeah.
And then there's no distractions, which will allow you to keep under fire, hold your aim on your target better. And there's also enlightened action, which is for more forgiving reloads. So there's I think a lot of options for players at different play styles and different skill levels there.
Okay.
And then
Field
just
prep
the kind of the cherry on top there
what's
with
Like field
Whisper
prep.
is that it's getting a reserves bump.
Oh.
So it's going to go
It's
from
it's only
18,
whisper breathing. Okay.
in
Gotcha.
reserve to 24 in reserve. So you're going to have
Okay,
a ton
Whisper
of ammo,
meta,
gonna be just, like
question
making a
mark?
sustained damage
Hopefully.
monster,
Yeah.
which is
We need different-
super exciting.
That
So
is-
ultra precise players like myself who never miss a shot will have even more. Why are you guys laughing? Why do you?
Sorry.
Why is that funny? No, that's really exciting. We also we have Whisper the Worm in addition to Outbreak Perfected now joining the pool of craftable exotic weapons. Let's take a quick look at Outbreak as well.
Oh, boy.
While we're here hanging out in the Enclave.
Dear Christ.
Tom, kind of,
This is
second
gonna be
person is
nuts,
the
by
first
the way.
same question. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the perks and updates that players will have available to them with their options to craft Outbreak Perfected?
Yep. And so in addition to barrels and mags, it has its classic outlaw perk is back. So you get your fast reloads on final blows, which works really well with Outbreak. It's all about
come on,
also
just go
landing
over one
precision
more.
hits to
Do
stick
it.
your
Come on, it's right there.
Do it.
nanites,
No.
kill enemies and spawn nanites, and spread that Siva energy around.
Spread that
Spread the
Siva.
plague.
Plague gang?
And then
Plague gang?
the second one though that we've
Rapid
added here is
Ooh,
Speaker?
Rapid
Oh,
Hit heads-
no.
Oh,
right
it's so
into that.
Jover.
We
So
wow
after you
wow.
land your
It's
precision shots, you
Jover.
get more stability.
Oh my, we have
Dude.
faster
3.
reload.
Head Seeker for PvP.
Then another new one is
Yo,
rerun,
this is
Oh,
not
that's
good.
gonna be-
I mean, I gotta
rounds.
create
It's
2 of
hard to
them.
say.
Fast,
Yeah, try it out.
Honestly,
Uh-oh.
you might
Which
need to,
refills
yeah.
your
Or
reserves
you can just change them.
to minimize your
enhancement
reloads. So, like,
course.
if you're hitting shots,
That's
you're
not
just going
bad.
to keep getting more ammo, which is
Yeah.
really
Cool, that's
kind of
cool.
interesting.
Perpetual motion machine? No, perpetual death
So
machine.
yeah, it's like do you want the reloads or you just want to keep shooting?
Yeah.
And then there's also a head seeker, which I think maybe for
Maybe.
PvP or for
It
certain,
is.
for certain play styles where like you're less focused on your critical shots.
Oh,
that's
please.
something to
No one
think
uses
about
that
as
for
well.
PvE.
In terms of catalysts, if you already have them,
Yeah.
you're golden. You can craft those. If you don't,
There you go.
play the legend version of Whisper and 0 Hour, and you'll have a chance to get them.
Very cool.
So that's still in there. And then, as I mentioned, for unlocking these new intrinsic perks that you can slot in,
Yeah.
there'll be like a 3-week mini quest line that rolls into the secrets for each of these. And Whisper is coming at launch with
Okay.
Inner Light,
Exciting.
and 0 Hour is coming in May.
May.
Perfect. Okay. So be a chance to go ahead and sink your teeth into 0 Hour for a while before you go ahead and change your attention and start
Oh, that's
unlocking
insane, dude.
one of the storied exotics of old.
Yeah.
Oh,
Also,
no.
it's worth mentioning that there are more than just the craftable weapons available as rewards
Oh?
in these missions. There's some tried and true ships. Now, we were talking a
What?
little bit about this earlier, but as
Oh.
someone who still to this day wears 1,000 wings,
You and me.
Oh, no
like,
shit.
We
Oh, okay.
know the feeling of getting that ship and finally having that I was there moment. The ships are making a
That's
return as well,
cool.
isn't that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so for both Whisper and for 0 Hour, they're coming back. Is it the exact same ship, or are there going to be changes on them?
No, these are actually new assets, right? They're new ships, so they won't
Oh,
be
okay.
the same. They won't sit in the same spot in your inventory.
Wait, what?
And
Wait, what?
they are updated to look really cool and new, and I think they're exciting. Especially we took the old scrap drifter ship that
Yeah.
was, I think, not really loved particularly by the community, because it was literally scrapped together from spare parts to
Right.
get built. And so we did a really nice pass on that. So it's inspired by the look of Outbreak Perfected, and I think it looks great. I think the community is going to love it.
Yeah.
And then we have the Whisper ship, 1,000 Wings. It's got a new design. So you'll still have your old 1,000 Wings. And if you have that equipped, players are going to know that you're OG and that you got it back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
and the new one is going to look like the new one, so there won't be any mistaking the old one for the new one.
Very cool. Excellent. So for the players who want to go ahead and continue to build up their collections,
Yeah.
there's a chance to go ahead and dive back in.
Yeah.
Maybe they weren't there originally, but they
Yeah.
want to go ahead and join the Thousand Wings Club to a degree.
Exactly.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So it'll be a chance to go ahead and unlock those as well. Excellent. Well, I think we are actually about at the point of the show we're going to go ahead and get ready to rotate over to the PvP map pack. But for starters, let's go ahead and make sure we thank our incredible team of playtesters here, going ahead and showing off the missions for us. Ashley, Peyton, and Michael, thank you all so
Ashley
much.
back.
Very much. There we go. We're getting some waves from the backstage. Thank you all so much for the time. And of course, Willie, I think this is unfortunately the time now we bid you adieu to go ahead and transition into the PvP map.
The fuck? Why the audio get
Awesome,
weird?
Willie, thank you so much. All right, we
Listen,
are
you got a
now
nice outfit, too.
joined by another member of the Bungie development team, a staff artist here who has helped made many of the PvP maps that you've also known and loved, the one and only Mr. Cooley Callahan. Cooley, welcome to the show, man.
Delete multiplex.
Good to see you. Thanks for having me here.
Absolutely, it's been so long.
Yeah, it has. It's been a minute.
Look at us, right? Who would've thought? Yeah.
That's full circle.
Yeah. Now, we were talking a little bit before the show about Cooley. I'm going to go ahead and do us all a favor and put Cooley on the spot to a degree. Rob, we were talking a bit about Cooley's history.
We were.
here. Can you tell us a little bit about the man sitting just to your left, the contributions
maps?
he's made to the PvP pantheon?
Yeah, well, one of the things that was really important for us was to make sure
Pantheon,
that the
it's a
strike team
challenge.
was stacked, that we had the best designers on the strike team.
Mm-hmm.
And so Cooley is certainly one of those. He's a 6-year veteran of the PvP team who shipped over 11 maps.
Yeah.
A lot of them are fan favorites, and I'm not going to steal any more of Cooley's thunder. I'll just let him talk about some of that.
Yeah, it's not everyone's a banger. I mean, there's
Yep.
definitely some maps that people would want some words with me. But I
We'll
think
save that for later. But what are some of the
just
bangers?
come find me. It's
What a name,
I
Cooley
think Burning Shrine.
That's a
weird way to
say
play
Callahan.
It's such a classic map. It's
Callahan's hand.
Charles' favorite. And then Midtown is another map that turned out really well. We built that for Countdown, but I was just chatting with another Destiny fan at the dog park the other day, talking about how well that map supports all of the different engagement ranges,
Right.
Which is definitely something that we try to do. We try to create places for players to use their favorite tools.
Yeah. Now, with the maps, we're going to be looking at 3 of them today with kind of a primary focus on, you were mentioning earlier, I think it was the 3v3 kind of competitive side of things was sort of the focus for these maps.
Absolutely, yeah. I think early on, a lot of the direction that we got was we wanted to bolster that competitive gameplay experience with new maps, tweaks to the modifiers of some of the modes, and so we, in our play testing, really focused on the competitive playlist
Great.
and really centered and put those experiences at the forefront. And then, all Destiny maps, can suit a variety of modes, so we also made sure they worked elsewhere. But for the most part, we really did want to provide new experiences and just breathe a little bit of new life into the higher, maybe a little bit sweatier gameplay.
Yeah.
So weird how you were staring directly at me when you said sweaty, but that's fine. We'll let it go for now. Actually, briefly too on that topic before we kind of go into the guided tour of these maps. Having had so much time to sort of be a part of building the tapestry that so much of our PvP happens on, what were some of the key lessons that you've kind of taken away from having built those maps and seen them go through everything from trials to quick play and bringing forward those lessons into these maps?
Yeah, I think one thing that is always at the forefront of our minds is, trying to strike that balance between,
No pun
providing the
intended.
playground for players to express themselves and express their guardian and their play style.
This is the most
So a
boring
lot
part
of
of the stream for
verticality,
you.
a lot of
You're like,
movement.
Who cares?
I don't
But
mind.
you-
And then balancing
That's
that
fair.
with making sure players understand where they're getting shot from, and creating a satisfying PvP engagement
Hope
that
these maps
doesn't
have cool skyboxes as well.
leave players cursing the map or
Sure.
feeling like they don't understand why they died. So
Yeah.
we want to make sure that players have we want to provide a choice for players that's always available to them to riff and to work with their team to use the map to their advantage. So it's a balancing like a complex gameplay space that allows a lot of movement and freedom without opening it up so much that you're not understanding like, geez, I can get shot from so many different places.
Certainly.
So we really it's a little bit of back and forth. We'll open it up. We'll try some things.
Yeah.
Especially this time around, we tried some stuff and got into the weeds a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think that's all part of the discovery process of finding the gameplay that we want to create. And so we go a little further, maybe too far in the openness and Swiss cheese, and then we bring it back and make it a little bit more focused and really dial in the engagements that we want.
That's awesome. I mean, speaking of getting in the weeds, there's no time like the present. Shall we go ahead
we
and
go.
dive on in?
Absolutely.
Excellent.
Cool.
Diving on in. All right,
Wanna
we
do
got
a
the
stone world?
first of 3 maps to go ahead and show off. This is the we have one on Europa, one on Neomuna, and then one on one of the pyramid ships in Essence, I
Okay.
believe is the
That's
name of
right.
the location.
That
So
was-
this is the
Oh, in
first one.
Essence,
This is
that's
here
where
on
Ron takes
Europa.
place.
That
I
was
think.
so the leaks were
Cooley, Can you
right.
tell us a little bit about what we're seeing here today, or where we are?
Yes, so this map is called Eventide Labs,
Eventide
and
Labs.
this is a
Catch.
long-forgotten human colony research outpost on Europa. And,
5 minutes.
It just so happens that Aramis has
Oh.
chosen this location as a refueling
That's awesome looking.
station for her catch. So here you'll see, perched just above the horizon is her catch in the skybox with, it's getting hooked up, and we have a servitor over here that's
Ew.
hooked up to the
Bro,
catch to provide
stop.
that ether that the Elixir
That's
need.
cool.
And so we really wanted to situate the maps in the universe and draw on that deep Destiny lore. But yeah, we definitely have a presence of
There you
Fallen
see a
here,
zone on
set
that
amongst
under the servitor with a
abandoned
Titan
human,
popping their bubbles.
ice encrusted
weird.
structures of the past, which has
Servitor's
been a
gonna get in the
really
way.
fun,
Oh, this is giving me
environment
vibes
to
of a
work
different
on.
map.
We definitely want to bring in
Oh, it was
as
the
many new
Gambit map
palettes as
I'm thinking
possible
of.
because there's so
Cool.
much great
Oh, and that was on
environment art
Mars, maybe?
content. The palettes are really cool, and we want to use those in PvP wherever we can, just to the different palettes
This
have
looks
different
cool.
character that leads to different gameplay spaces.
Also, when it comes to kind of finding these maps of place in the world, Rob,
Are they flying through like an
having kind of
oracle
looking
like
at
from Halo?
through an artistic lens, what were some of the challenges or even
Recam.
kind of exciting
Yeah.
opportunities potentially of finding, new places for these
Which
maps
just
to
was the
live in the more
thing.
modern era of Destiny that we've been experiencing more recently?
Well, we really wanted
do
to
like
make sure
Destiny
that
Machinima
when we
with
do
this.
an update like this, it's a major refresh to
Whoa.
the
That's a
map
big dueling
rotator,
area.
right? Like we're adding quite a bit of variety here. We wanted to make sure that we had 3 distinctly different places and places that players haven't seen a bunch of
Not an
times.
asymmetrical
Fortunately, we
map.
had these available to us, and
Well, maybe.
I'm looking at it again now. I mean, I'm not getting sick of looking at this. The team does such a good job.
It's gorgeous. This is, I mean, one of the cool things is just how purposeful everything feels in the world.
Yeah.
Our team always pushes it so far where it really feels like you're walking into a truly recently defunct, human colony or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, and the frozen world of Europa. I mean, they all
Europa
have
A?
their advantages for PvP, but
There's
the
a chest in
frozen
there.
ice walls of Europa are
Go
just
open the
perfect
chest!
for multiplayer, and I'm sure Cooley's going to talk about this a bunch.
Yeah, actually, also too, Cooley, if you wouldn't mind,
Okay, I went to not clamber
as,
on that
as
ledge.
people who have heard me talk too much about Destiny PvP would know, Dead Man's Tale and I get along a lot. Can you tell us a little bit maybe about some of the sight lines or opportunities?
Yeah, show us
that
the
I'll have to
angles.
maybe rack up some additional kills as I
Yeah,
dive
show
into
me
this
where
map
I'm
the first
gonna
time.
get
Totally.
bodied from.
If
It's another
long
map I'll
range is your
hate.
thing, this spot out here is definitely the place for you. There's one spawn that happens.
There's the zones.
One team over by C and then one
B
over
as
by
the
A. And
servitor.
so in these competitive modes, if you've got an objective out here, this sight line is really important to lock down. So this is this is a spot where you're gonna have
I don't
two
like that
teams
you got
poking,
that sight line
peeking
to
each
your
other,
left there.
and then
You get
rushing
flanked
over
pretty
here to try
easily there.
to get to this zone and lock it down.
Listen,
And,
Trials is gonna be-
if you're
Wonder if you can get on
dealing
top
with
of the servitor.
That long range kit, you can
I
hang back
don't think
and
so.
sort of lock down this airspace here so that
It's a
you can
spherical
provide cover
object and
maybe
slanted,
support
so-
your team from being
Tell me.
harassed down on this point.
Capture that zone, idiot.
And then
Fantastic.
we also have sort of this the sight line in the
Don't
middle, which
capture
will
it.
be pretty fun. It's definitely going to be a race to for
I don't
each
think he's
player
gonna win this.
or each team to kind of get to this spot
Enemy
and
team
this
lock
team's
down
pretty,
this sort of
close.
portal here to ensure that
We
you
see him
can
aiming at a door.
push into this space and kind of control the middle. But as you can see, there's
They should put it like a
lots
brig
of ways for players to come
on
in
the
and
map
flank.
somewhere, like
So
an empty
if
brig.
you're holding
and
this
just, like, get
PvE.
into it.
really
and
not
get
One
into it and
enemy.
Kill
be here
people
for
with
too
it.
long unless you've got the support to do it.
Oh, that's too much
So you throw those
coding.
grenades right off of the rip, basically, when you're coming out of spawn to try and
Yep.
conquer that territory as best you can.
Yeah, one other thing I love about these ice caves
Oh, that's
is
cool.
it
Oh.
provides a lot of opportunity for
Epic.
grenades, like trip mines, and to bounce things off of the back of the walls. and
Arthur's embrace.
The shapes here are just really
Oh
fun.
god,
to
it's gonna be
play
like a
with.
bounce house with it.
All right, so
Yeah.
this is one of 3 maps. Let's go ahead and prepare to go ahead and move on to the next one here really quickly. We've got coming up next,
Neomuna. All
as
right.
well. So finding a place, on Neomuna, obviously that makes sense for PvP. probably seems pretty natural, honestly, given just like how rich and vibrant and exciting of a place it is. What was it like, even starting from an artistic standpoint on this map, Rob?
This was a really exciting map for the team. It's a shopping / entertainment center for the
Cooley's got
Exozone
this.
Luna. And,
Yeah.
So there's a lot of really fun decoration, and the spaces have a lot of character to them. There's a lot of
Trials ship?
recognizable things, human scale things that look
Yeah, great.
relatable, and we don't always get that in all of our palettes. And so this is also an opportunity for us to have a really clean architectural map that has a lot of
Oh, I like the music.
crisp edges and very flat floors. So
I really like the
all of
music.
definitely the more competitive players and the sort of the more PvP diehards, they really take to this map, and it's an instant hit. People are
And you start in the
just
arcade.
right away pleased with how readable the map
arcade is
is.
a zone.
It's
Dude,
one of
the
those maps
music
that
with
you
the
can play
drums,
a couple
dude.
times and you get it. Like, you understand that it's all about this center
Capture
atrium
zone,
room
eh?
that is really open and kind of has this
Okay,
big
this is
pit in the
giving-
middle.
Oh my God.
Halo
There's this area
vibes.
down here, which is where a lot of objectives spawn, and there's some special ammo down here.
Big
but then
Halo
there's also
vibes.
this place over here where the heavy ammo
It's a mall.
spawns,
It
and
looks like a mall, bro.
players will
Yeah.
oftentimes just pop up here to do a quick
Sub-sandwich.
check and maybe like try to get a cheeky kill on somebody who's maybe running from cover to cover, but you can't hang out here for very long because you've got so many different angles at which you can get shot
This
from.
is
But
like
that's kind of like
legit
that balance
Overwatch Halo
of what I was
vibes.
talking about before. Like we want to provide that, but we want to make sure that it's not too powerful, or it's a risk reward, right? You're making a trade-off, and the players who are using the map well and who understand the map will be able to use it to their advantage.
Yeah, actually, also too, to kind of focus on the
Use to the
readability.
wall.
I remember overhearing some discussions with you designers talking about the clean zone in PvP. Can you tell us a little bit about what that is and how it kind of helped
Fish.
inform the design of this
Oh,
map?
yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
definitely. I think the clean zone is
skeleton
something
in there,
that
too.
a lot of
Cute.
developers really use to sort of
The walls are
create
so
this
pretty,
space
bro.
for the player to pop, right? To like really stand out from the
Looks
environment.
like that spray stuff
So for
that
us, it's
Flint
about
Lockwood
where
puts
the
on his
player's
feet
head
and
height is, and this map
thought he
is
was a chance of
Oh,
meatballs.
yeah, yeah.
one of the
Spray on
examples
shoes.
of how it can really provide for a good PvP
Oh,
experience.
so there's a
to,
bar.
have this
There you go.
sort of mark on the wall where you can kind
Drinks,
of
wine.
expect
Meet it again?
players to reside in.
Yeah.
Huh?
Till they jump around and strands
bar.
suspend you in the air, and you're just left there cursing the heavens for a little while.
Lovely.
Maybe I'm speaking on my own behalf.
Literally
This is
doing the gradient.
fantastic. Yeah, this is, I will say, one of the maps that, having done a little bit of play testing myself, I still have to give you credit for
Easy on
perhaps
the
one of the
eyes.
most diabolical heavy weapon
Yes.
spawns, or heavy ammo spawns, rather, I should see.
Wait, did you
in
guys say
any
something to
PvP
me?
map. Like the sheer amount of risk reward.
Yeah, there's a
Exactly.
bar.
into just making your way
Oh.
safely, or so you
I
think,
I
into
did see
particular
that.
Territory.
Right.
You know, as you guys are
Sorry,
even
I'm
building that
distracted
balance in
because
of
apparently
these
there's a
consumables on
major
the map.
Apex
Cooley,
issue
what was it
going
like,
on right
sort
now.
of having that
Uh-oh.
process
Pe-
evolve?
People's
happened,
accounts
bro?
got
Yeah.
people's accounts got rolled back to
typically
like
when we
beginning
start
of
laying
the
out a
season
map,
or later,
we
like
just kinda
lost all
start
their
with
progress
control
and
because
everything.
it's a
Whoa.
good
And all their
base.
stuff.
That's not good.
Yeah.
It
So
requires
like I
Don't.
want to log in so bad right now to see if
Don't.
I lost
well-defined
stuff too,
combat
but I'm
pockets
not.
that you have an
Don't. Wait
objective
until they
in
put a
them.
fix out, yeah.
But then from
Yeah,
there, we
literally,
start mapping out
apparently
the
it's
other
happening to,
objectives
like,
that might exist on the
everybody,
map, like
so-
the heavy ammo
Yeah,
point.
wait till they put a
And
fix
I
out.
think we've
That's...
Yikes, dude.
gravitated more.
So
April
sorry, I'm
Fool's.
distracted.
No,
Yeah.
you're
Of
good. That's scary.
That's something to be worried about.
So
Yeah, Exactly.
Yeah, that's
After I
fair.
made so much progress this season, I'm like,
but-
nah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind
Guys
of
are
No,
talking about it
we'll
last
grind
night.
to get it back.
It's
if
sort of a
that's the case,
formula.
but they
There's-
should-
Hopefully
they
we
should
won't
fix
have
it.
to, but like
Yeah.
sort of
apparently
order of
people lost
operations,
heirlooms,
so to
people
speak,
lost
of you
skins,
start with
people
Ooh,
lost
that's-
season
strokes,
pass progress,
you go
rank
to the next
progress.
stage,
Yeah, all
you
of
start
it.
making sure that you've
Characters.
got,
Some
space
people,
and
like,
combat pockets for,
You know, if they bought a
maybe
character,
Dominion or,
they
you know,
lost
some-
them too.
Some other game
Yeah.
modes, and things just kind of
Crazy.
fall into place from there.
Anyway,
All right, and we've also got one more map to check out as well. For all the fine folks at home, we're going to continue.
now
our
this
guided
one's gonna be
tour,
in the
and we're gonna make
pyramid
our way
ship.
over to Essence, to one of the pyramid ships, to check out the final.
This is going to be a
PvP map
dark
that we'll be
PvP
releasing in this
map as
pack.
well as this is going to be.
As we're flying in, I gotta give you guys credit. Like the space that exists inside those pyramid ships that's being terraformed by the Traveler looks just absolutely incredible. But this is the first time you guys have had a chance to really flex your muscles and build a PvP map out here. You know, Rob, just to start from your perspective as we load in, what was it like developing this, you know, playground for Guardians that's kind of so deep in the enemy's backyard?
Respawn's already on it.
I think it was really tough.
They said they've
You
seen
know,
the
like
reports
I
and they're
remember
working
there
on
were
a
quite a few
fix.
iterations of this
Yeah.
map, and
I don't
know
have
Cooley's gonna
Twitter,
go
so I
into more
couldn't
detail,
check,
but
but
like from a high level,
that's
Yeah, I
just
just thought I would
crazy.
it's
for you.
a pretty inherently noisy palette. You know, Cooley was talking
Hopefully
about
they
the
get it
clean
fixed
zone.
soon.
Yeah.
There's some palettes in the game.
Like,
that are-
apparently
that are
some people just
very
lost their
visually
accounts
noisy. So the
entirely.
geometry is noisy. They
Oof.
create a lot of shadow and a lot of highlights just
Yeah.
by the geometry itself. And then the textures, the
nice.
shaders that are on the geometry, those can be noisy.
Yeah.
And then there's the clutter.
Oh,
of-
that's
Oh,
so
that looks
pretty.
beautiful.
You have,
Oh,
an environment with a lot of
stop,
entropy,
dude.
and there's just
Mm-hmm.
rubble everywhere. There's like garbage strewn around or plants hanging down, like
Right.
we often do in Destiny. We have to declutter. Some of like the European Dead Zone maps, for example,
Yeah.
are highly cluttered. And so this was an example of one of those fairly entropic, high clutter palettes
fossils.
Yeah.
That's
that the
cool.
team had to kind of
Reminds me of
wrangle
Disjunction.
into shape.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
And
for
I'm
sure.
sure Cooley's
Those
going to
are
talk about that
so
process because it was quite a
pretty.
process.
Awesome.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, Cooley, I'd love to continue.
How nice
just
of the
like there,
witness
you
to
know,
create this
taking
for the PvP
this
players.
space on
Yeah.
Pyramid Ship and kind of
Yeah.
making it suitable for a PvP map. What was that process like from your perspective, kind of from more of a design side?
Yeah, it's
New raid
again
when?
a process of back and
Yeah.
forth. You know, we start with mass out, and mass out is the simplest and cleanest a map will
Simple
ever be.
and clean?
And,
Simple
you know,
and
from there we
clean.
start developing the spatial character of the map. And one of the things we like to ask ourselves is, what is this place?
I love
And
Game
even
Boy's
with
music.
a more abstract
Love it.
palette like the Essence ship, it's worth asking that question because we can leverage spatial
Oh, that's so
archetypes that just kind of like
pretty.
naturally resonate
Wow.
with people. So, like here we have in this map we have sort of these dueling huts or these dueling ziggurats, and inside of them is this artifact or shrine. So maybe this is like maybe this part of the ship is a collection of mysterious artifacts that the witness has collected. And so we lean on those things to give a little bit of rhyme and reason to a space that otherwise is completely abstract. And that is also really useful for us in terms of we can make any kind of space we want. Like, we're not limited by architectural constraints, but you know, it can be tough sometimes to orient players in the map when you don't have things like doors or, you know, like TVs or you know, any sort of, you know, human scale architectural pieces that kind of clue you in. So, yeah.
It's also too is I remember we were talking a little bit before the show, Rob, even about, you know, what it was like from a design standpoint and bringing in external testers to try these maps out for the first time. Can you tell us a little bit about that experience and kind of, as you I think phrased it, discovering your own blind spots?
Yeah, well, we've done this before for years, really, and we did it again here, and it was, I think, really successful because, you know, it was 2 days. They ran through these maps when they were still in development. They weren't too far enough along where we couldn't make some pivots that we needed to.
Yeah.
And they found a lot of stuff. I mean, for this map, for example, we thought it was in a pretty good place.
Yeah.
And a lot of things were called out. They didn't pull any punches. They were honest and clear and constructive with the feedback. And it wasn't super easy to hear it all, but you know, when the team listened to it and we took
Ambiance
tons of
video
notes,
on
and
this
it was
one
also
for sure.
about, you know, they gave feedback on our sandbox as well.
Yeah.
But
Facts
lots and
with
lots
the
of map
Traveler in the
feedback. It
background?
was incredibly
Dang.
useful.
Yeah.
And you know, just another lesson in what we don't see.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and it's so valuable to do that. And these, I can't say who they were, but they're very well-known community
Maybe
players.
some folks in chat, who knows? But
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
You know who you are.
we really were careful about who we brought in because we wanted people that would be very pragmatic. You know, they weren't interested in their own, you know, YouTube monetization strategy or how they particularly make content. They wanted the game to be in a great place. They wanted PvP to be in a great place for the community and for Destiny.
Absolutely.
Right? And they were carefully selected that way, and great communicators who could articulate the feedback. They could really speak to what they were experiencing and what we could do to fix what they were experiencing.
Yeah.
And I'd like Cooley can probably say what he thinks about it too. But I was just blown away by how valuable that was, and we definitely want to keep doing that.
Certainly, yeah. Yeah, Cooley, can you tell us a little bit more about that experience on your side as well?
Totally. I mean, it's so fun to, like, those are some of my favorite moments when we can get a bunch of super fans from the community in and show them work in progress stuff, and they can actually give us real actionable feedback that we take back to our desks and talk about it, and we discuss how can we sort of take their feedback and move forward. And this content is for them in a big way, right? Like we need their approval. Like we absolutely, that's our mark. That's our goal, is to create content that they're going to love playing, and that they're excited to play, and that their communities are going to get excited to play, and sort of learn together and build strategies for. That's the funnest part of the job.
Yeah, I mean, also, Cooley, on your side in general, what are you most excited for players to experience once this gets out into the world with Into the Light?
Yeah, I'm excited to see these maps rotate into trials. I'm excited for players to have a totally new trials experience that, is going to be a sort of an experience of discovery of these new spaces and new strategies, and for players to also, the meta isn't really formed yet. I mean, like we sort of know how the map plays, but
heavy
it's
ammo
always
things there.
a fun surprise to see
it's probably just
in the wild
placeholder.
just how the map ends up
Maybe it'll be
sorting out,
underneath.
and what people end up doing, and
Or it'll stay
we're really
there.
looking forward to just watching.
That's
what
out of
happens.
place.
Yeah.
You're out of place.
I mean, I count myself among the many that are excited to go ahead and dive on in, having more playgrounds to go ahead and dive on in on trials, no matter what the case is. Maybe trying to go ahead and actually get some more competitive rank. Cooley, thank you so much for taking the time to walk us through these today. We really appreciate it.
Anytime, my pleasure.
And all right, well, we'll go ahead and
I
use
read
that
the
as a moment
secrets.
to conclude the quick tour as well of the PvP maps. We got a quick question from chat from Jakesaur asking about, are we going to get a playlist or mode? It'll be just these new maps during Into the Light, and the answer is yes. When they launch on May 7th, we'll have a 3v3 playlist to go ahead and talk just about these items. I'd rather let you play just those maps. Rather, we're talking about them today. They're all going to be playing them very shortly. All right, well, that so far wraps up the first 2 segments of our show. But we've got, as I mentioned at the top, a few more announcements for you as well. So you may have heard us mention the word Pantheon in the TWID last week, or even on the show here last week potentially as well. We have got a brand new raid boss gauntlet rather, starting on April 30th. Now there will be more information about this in an upcoming TWID. You'll have more details to dig into shortly, but you will have the Pantheon coming up, where you'll have an opportunity to face grueling raid bosses in a weekly challenge with escalating difficulties and rewards. Now, this is a chance for you to go ahead and rally your clan or the perfect fire team with Fireteam Finder, if you're able to track them down, to go ahead and track down those exotics, adept weapons, and emblems you may not have gotten your hands on. But we have more details for that in the coming weeks. Keep an eye on that. Cosmo and the community team, thank you for your hard work putting that together.
That sounds cool.
When you dive on in on April 9th, actually, rather, before we get there, I'm sorry, we will have the opportunity to you'll have the opportunity to get a title through your course.
Oh, sweet, another title.
If you dive on in,
great.
Go ahead and unlock all the triumphs associated with the seal. You'll be able to march into the final shape with a brand new title, Brave.
Oh, I like that.
Well.
Okay.
So make sure, go ahead and get those big challenges bid off, so that way you can handle them as early as you possibly can, and let the witness know that you're on the way. And we have 3 really cool things hitting on April 9th when Into the Light launches. The first one is, if you're a new player, you got a buddy who's just jumping into the game for the first time, and you'd rather not hang out with Shahan and the Cosmodrome, then you have an opportunity to go ahead and just join the front lines. You can skip the new light. Give Shahan maybe a high five on the way out. Ask him for a weekly bounty when you're back later.
I'll be goddamn.
You have a chance to go ahead and meet up with your friends, head to the Hall of Champions, grab the gift of Thunder Lords if you so choose, and get ready for battle.
They don't even change it. There's like,
able to go ahead and grab some of these new light as well, depending on what your subclass of choice is out of the gate. But your barriers to dive in with your friends have never been lower. There'll be a chance to go ahead and dive on into everything you're seeing with Into the Light.
That's
here.
very nice.
Say it.
Also, we have a couple more things. We have some questions in chat about this.
Let him speak.
From Idzepski and Atlas Live TV. But on 4.9, you'll have the opportunity to also change your.
Okay, that's when that's dropping. Gotcha.
You'll be able to go ahead and change your
scare.
like your haircut. If you want to go ahead and change your face paint, if you want to go ahead and risk it to be one of those guardians who goes homeless in the tower. I'm not sure if I'm brave enough, but I know many of you are. Your chance will be arriving.
You'll be doing that before anything else.
It's going to be absolute
and
overload.
there will also be an opportunity to change your name. So, Guardian 4681 out there, with the launch of Into the Light, we're also going to give you one more name change token. If you already have yours sitting around, I believe you have 2, but our friends in DPS will be able to answer that question for you. But you'll have
Hey.
That
chance
Destiny
as
Girl
well
question mark?
once Into the Light launches.
I don't know about that.
Now, there's a lot, but we also have one
Zach Femboy
more
Herod in
thing
game.
for all of you.
Hold on.
Next week, we're going to be joining you again for a
Oh.
special developer preview of some gameplay for Destiny 2: The Final Shape.
Oh
It'll be,
shit!
here, wherever you're watching live,
12:30
you'll be able to go ahead and
Eastern
watch it on
Standard Time.
April 9th at 9:30
Okay.
a.m.
We can watch that too.
All right.
Where you'll get a chance
We're
to
gonna have
basically
to
again
clear
get a
our
look behind the
schedule
scenes of
for
the
that
developers
day.
Yes, we
and
are.
work through
Christ.
some stuff that you are definitely not going to want to miss. And over the course of that show, Twitch drops will be live. So there'll be another emblem which you can see here live on the screen. That'll be
that's awesome.
available after about 15
Oh,
minutes
that's
of view
cool.
time. If you haven't gone ahead and also unlocked the emblems that you got as a
I
result of this
unlocked
show
both.
that we're having available during the Into the Light streams, then you have a chance to go ahead and spend some more
dude,
time unlocking
word.
those as well.
This
but
is sweet.
that does it.
Dude.
For starters, to all of you Guardians out there in chat, thank
Son
you
of
so
a
much
bitch,
for taking
hold
the
on.
time to join us. We're thrilled about what we've been able to show off and thrilled about what the team's been working on for Into the Light.
This
So
is hype.
thank you for taking the time to join us. Chat, we see you out there having a good time, so thank you very much for taking the time to be with us today. Also, it goes without saying, but we'll go ahead and do so anyway, to the incredible team here at Bungie, building Into the Light, making all of this, the teams that you guys have been kind enough to represent. Thank you all so much for all of your hard work. We're nothing without the entire teams that we have here. Teams are obviously greater than heroes, and we're firm believers in that. And you're all great examples of that whole scenario. To our play testers as well that have helped us bring this show to life, to Ashley, Peyton, and Michael here behind the scenes, thank you so much for
Noah,
showing
yeah,
us some of
great.
the cool new content. And of course, all
Yeah,
of our
great.
guests, to Tom,
Yeah, great.
to Rob, to Cooley, to Willie, to Noah, to Kelsey. I'm not forgetting anyone, am I?
Chris.
To Chris, thank you. To the one and only
Yes.
Mr. Chris Proctor as well. Thank you all for joining us. And now that is about it. So we're going to keep the stream here live until about 11:30, I believe, so you can go ahead and get a little bit more time racking up the last bits of those emblems. But in the meantime, that's it for all of us here at Bungie. Oh, also, I'm sorry, to the team of producers here,
Yeah,
everyone here
thank
that
you.
makes this show possible, they have the challenge of making me look good on camera, so obviously their work's cut out for them. Thank you
Yeah.
all so much for helping bring this show to life. And now, finally, we're going to go ahead and sign off. And reminder, Into the Light launches next week. But in the meantime, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and we'll see you all Starside.
Okay. So
Music is
I didn't
banging.
hear them. I didn't hear them say anything about the reissue, like the
Huh?
refreshed perks for like Europa Throne World weapons.
Oh no, they didn't say anything about
I
that.
didn't hear anything like that. Bungie League said,
Maybe
but
they're gonna let people figure that out on their own.
that'd be great.
Dude, this music, again, God of War. But I just, oh, I want that music to come on in the final wave of Onslaught. Dude, this, if they
There's so
Pantheon
much.
challenge is like it lets you get div from the quest. That
Get
would
rid
be
of it
sick.
wrong.
Actually.
But we'll have to see.
I'm trying to think.
cool.
I have to be to the theater by 2:20.
Yeah, you should probably leave like now. Ish.
Well, I need to take care of the dog and stuff too. So yeah, I think
okay.
I'm gonna get off now. But
Right.
holy crap, that was
Enjoy.
a lot.
Lisa Nagaib.
Yeah.
Misanaga.
Enjoy.
What time are you guys gonna be on later?
So we have to take ramen to the clinic, probably
Uh-huh.
around 5:30. So, and then eat dinner and stuff. So we can do Apex tonight if everything's fixed.
Yeah.
Probably around 8 or 9, I would say.
Okay.
We might watch the Mets game if they play. They're probably gonna get delayed though, or postponed.
Alright.
Alright,
Alright, well, yeah.
Yep.
Do you want to do Oh, he's gone. Lamau.